5:30. On top here momentarily. There we go. Give me some space. Okay. Hello. It is 5:30. Let's get this party started. So number one, you're going to need some note-taking materials for this live. You can use digital or physical, virtual, whatever it is that you use that allows you to be able to learn best. Secondarily, you're gotta love these almonds getting stuck all the way up there. Secondarily, you're going to need a second device, and you will use that device to go to theturnarounddoctor.com, and then you will go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. Scroll all the way down, and we are in the powerful section, and we are doing number one, which is Can Makes the Impossible Possible. Now let's go ahead and take in some deep breaths. We're going to do 3 inhales and 3 exhales. Do it on your own because all of us have different breathing patterns. Okay. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers. I am the daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas. I am the granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic, Can Makes the Impossible Possible. And I need my brain background. Give me one moment. There we go. It's popping up now. Okay. I thought something looked strange. All right. So how did we get here today? We got here through the process which is known as neurogenesis, and that's the creation of new neurons. From there, those neurons decided that they are going to travel and create a process that's called neuroplasticity, and that is the brain's ability to wire new neural pathways in the brain. You take those two, you combine it with the theory of personal accountability as well as the 74 Principles of Real Leadership, and you get to Neuropability, which is your brain's ability to wire itself to use the 74 Principles of Real Leadership to create unlimited neural pathways so that you can hold yourself personally accountable on the daily basis to achieve your best day in and day out. Where does this magic happen? It happens in the frontal lobe, in the executive function of the brain, which is also known as the CEO of the brain. So without further ado, let's use the frontal lobe today. Now, before I get started, I've talked about our feelings PDF that Nola and I use, and I've sent it to some of you as well. And so what's happening is I'm slightly irritated this morning. As many of you know, I use the YouVersion Bible app. I have a 1,640-something, 90-something day streak, somewhere around there. And 2 days ago, I believe it was, the CEO came and did a video and said the objective is to get to 1 billion users, active downloads, whatever, by the end of the year. I didn't think too much of it. I opened the app this morning, and for a moment, I had a TikTok moment where there was this ad that showed up that had the number counting for us to get to this billion goal. And I was thoroughly pissed the fuck off. Yes, in the Bible app. How is that possible? Because I have achieved 1 billion views before. In fact, my Jiffy page is at 17.3 billion views. And I did this from 2018 to 2019, myself and assistance from my daughter, and started with no information, wasn't in the API or anything. And then within 362 days, I had achieved my goal of 1 billion views on that Jiffy channel. It's been years, like I said, it's 17.3 million. And so here's why I have a problem with it being on the Bible app. I used faith to get to that billion number. Faith. I said this is possible, and now how is it possible? And behind the scenes, we did some things, looked at calendars and said, well, let's do this, what's in Jiffy, and okay, let's make them vertical. I'm going to do tweets and videos and emojis and all kind of things to get to that number. I did not ask 900 and some odd million people to get me to 1 billion views. And so for me, I'm having a moment of how much faith do you actually have, YouVersion Bible app, if you need us to ask our friends to download the Bible app. That sounds like what YouTube subscribers and influencers do. And I have a 1,600 and some odd, let me look to be specific, so I'll know exactly what my number is for today. 1,692 days. So for 1,692 days, I have been on this app faithfully. 1,692 days. And Greg Rochelle's the church behind it, and then the CEO is a different person. And so I'm saying, whose goal is this? Whose actual goal is this? And why does it have to be this year? And what will that mean? Does that mean that is there more people? And I understand fellowship and Christian and discipleship and all of that. But I didn't like going into a place that I go in the morning for peace to center me for my day to start to be able to give you what you need, because I was trying to get what I needed. And there was this clock countdown to 1 billion. So what am I feeling? I'm feeling a little bit angry. Why am I feeling it? Because there was an ad there. And what am I going to do about it? I'm going to see if this clock shows up again and for how long. And if it's consistent, I may have to reevaluate where I get my information from, because it's as soon as you open the app. So I'm still slightly irritated, but we got to get this done. So if you sense any type of irritation, it is with that process, that the McDonaldization of society is everywhere. And if you can't get faith on the Bible app, where are you supposed to get your faith from? You come here for personal accountability, and if I start doing unaccountable shit, y'all gonna be like, but I thought you was the ringleader for personal accountability. Why you late? Why you don't have any information and everything else? So I believe that you would be disappointed in me and check on me and just send a wellness check and everything else to try to see what the heck is going on, because it would be out of character for me. And I believe that this is out of character. And it's because I needed to get to 1 billion in a year. And I know what it takes. And it takes a lot of faith and effort. And for me, that's cheating. Well, let's just ask the 900 million people that are already there. It's like me getting on TikTok and Instagram Live and begging people, hey, come on, I need some more followers. I'm on YouTube. I'm trying to monetize my channel. Can y'all watch all my videos? Is that don't take no fucking faith. That's what everybody's doing out here, begging, hoeing around on the street, begging for likes, do anything for likes. So that's how I see that. Okay, now today we're talking about Can Makes the Impossible Possible. Perhaps I should send this video to the CEO of YouVersion Bible app and go ahead and Can Makes the Impossible Possible, because that's some easy, slick shit. Jesus didn't do that, okay? He did, and you know, Peter and Paul, everybody had to do some good stuff. Good morning, Regina. So again, I'm not telling you religion or anything else that you need to be doing. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for faith-based people, don't do a manufactured plan on something that you're seeking in faith, because you're intervening with the actual thing that you need to be getting, which is I learned how to do a lot on my path to getting 1 billion for that. So they're trying to skip the line, and they're going to leave the faith behind. All right, Can Makes the Impossible Possible. Let me go ahead and make that a highlight, because I'm probably going to send this to them. Okay. Number 1 is can. And can means be able to. Be able to. Can. Number 2, makes. Cause something to exist or come about. Makes. Cause something to exist or come about. Number 3 is the word the. Used to refer to something of the class or quality described. And I think this is interesting because the sentence that came up as an example is, they are trying to accomplish the impossible. Isn't that funny? Okay. The definition again is used to refer to something of the class or quality described. And the example, the sentence that they used is, they are trying to accomplish the impossible. Number 4 is impossible. And impossible means not able to occur, exist, or be done. Not able to occur, exist, or be done. And then finally, possible. Able to be done. Within the power or capacity of someone or something. Within the power or capacity of someone or something. So can, able to be done. is for something to exist and it is talking about this particular thing, impossible means, oh no, it can't occur. And the impossible means it absolutely 100% can occur. That's the definition of can makes the impossible possible. So the question this morning is, why do people believe something is impossible? And so I'm asking you that question while I put this poll question up here. Why do people believe that something is impossible? So just throw an answer out there. What is your understanding of it or your thought process behind it? I think I'm getting some crown hairs. Because they've never seen it done before. I'm quick with it this morning, Kevin. Your connection must be good. Good morning, Lola. I wonder if I use these, would that work as a fan? Yes. It's not big enough. Got it. Use my veterans note folder. Limited thinking or experience. The first, when I asked myself this question, and then I think I was on Grok or Chat GPT, but my first answer was because they lazy. That's why. Lazy. That's what's wrong with these folks. They are lazy. Don't want to use their brain for any damn thing. That's what's wrong. Then I said, no, that's not. That ain't researchly based at all. It just sounds like that's the answer. That's not the answer that I got. And Regina and Kevin's answer are a little bit more doable and plausible. But I said because they lazy, for sure. All right. So what happens? Why do people believe something is impossible? The hot flash. Hot flash. I know. I haven't sung it in a minute. Yeah. I've been having them. I think because I just been having, because what's happening here, Kevin, is most of us live in warm climates. So we go from, so last week it was 60 something degrees. And yesterday it was in the 90s. Today it's going to be in the 90s. So in the morning it's already hot. So I can't even, I'm just like, I'm hot. I've been hot all morning since I woke up. So now we're in the heat of it. And here shortly we're going to be in the hundreds. Double digits until September, October time frame. All right. So basically the answer is this. It stems from a mix of cognitive, emotional, and experiential factors. So cognitive, emotional, and experiential factors. And Kevin, if you need experiential, it's resulting from experience. Number one, lack of evidence or precedence. Lack of evidence or precedence. If something has never been done before or lacks visible proof, people assume it's unattainable. People may assume it's unattainable. If something has never been done before or lacks visible proof, people may assume it's unattainable. And that's what Kevin said. Because they have never seen it done before. That's the story of my life. As soon as I say I'm getting ready to do something, here come the impossible police. Oh, I like that. Impossible police. I'm going to use that for something. Yes, so the impossible police come and tell me I can't get it done. For example, when I started applying to college, I didn't have a lot of money because I had a big wardrobe. So any money I got, I went to the mall. So I applied to one college. I said, I'm going to spend $25 and I am applying to one school. And I applied to Michigan State University because that's where Uncle Jerry went. I wanted to follow in his footsteps and be a lawyer. And everybody at school said, you have to apply to more schools because what if you don't get in? I said, I am going to get in. And if I don't get in, my uncle was going to make some phone calls and I'm going to get in. Lo and behold, guess who got in? Me. I got in. And I didn't need him to make any phone calls. But that's just one example. People told me you can't take squad out of platoon. Why not? Where is it at? Show me in the red. One thing about being in the military, where is it at? What manual is it in? What memorandum did we get from the school department and anybody else that says that that's impossible? Well, you can't do it. You can't have freshmen on squad. They just got here. They just got to the school. I'm going to be teaching everybody. It don't matter. Come on, Collins, get on over here. So people have been telling you can't go in the military while you're still in high school. I can. It's called the delayed entry program. You can do all those things. You actually can. So that's just some examples. But if people have never seen it done before, especially by it's your gender, your ethnicity, your age, your size, the impossible police are coming to knock on your door. Boom, 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 boom. You can't get that done. Nola said it. Good morning, Sabrina. Nola told me we can't get to 1 billion. If it took us 7 months on Jiffy to get to 100 million, we can't get to 1 billion in 5 months. I said, yes, we can. And I did the Dr. Donna math. And she still to this day is like, that math didn't math. If she will say, and she probably going to chime in. You can't go from 100 million in 7 months to 1 billion in 5 months. And I said, yeah, yes, you can. It's Moore's Law. It's the 18-month thing with the tech and the rule of 10. And I threw some jibber jabber out of there. And I said, okay, right now we posting 7 jiffies a day. We just got to move it to 10. Because what I was doing was I was looking at the views every day on a post that we made. And it was 100,000 and all of that. I was like, okay, cool. We just got to make 10 posts a day for the next 5 months. And we're going to get to 1 billion. And that was my rule of 10. And it worked. But she wasn't on board. When I sat down with Kay Collis and said, hey, I'm going to do this DTM thing. I ran the numbers. I see it. I can get this done. Exponential numbers. It was yes, it was way more than that. It was a lot of faith. That's why I'm like, AU version, I already got to 1 billion. And didn't nobody, I didn't even have a check mark. I didn't even have a following. And got to 1 billion. Got to 1 billion. And now it's at 17.3 billion. Who knew I was going to be in everybody's phone and everything else and gaming systems and all that? I didn't know, but hey, higher power knew. That's faith. Because first I had to get in the API. I wasn't even in it. So in order for people to see it, it had to be in the API. And what was the Jiffy was small back then. So I just emailed the people and said, hey, I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and let me in this API. Within an hour, I was in the API. And after that, as they say, the rest was history. I had 100,000 views in the first month and then 1 million. And then once I got to the 1 million, I knew I could get to 1 billion. I know that math don't never math. But anyways, lack of evidence, and so people will tell you that it's unattainable. So what you do is you tell them, and it's a very technical term when the impossible police show up. You tell them, kick rocks. Okay? I used to say this on my TikTok live. Oh, I see. You're the impossibility police. Well, what you can do is you can go ahead and kick rocks because I don't have time to listen to that. So, pound sand, hit the pavement, get to stepping. Number 2 is cognitive biases. So cognitive biases, it's 2 of them. The status quo bias. People refer what's familiar and may dismiss unfamiliar possibilities as unfeasible. That's what they will say. Unfamiliar possibilities are of not feasible. See, I can't even say it right because the shit don't even, my brain is buffering. Like, what the fuck is this? Okay, so they're like, oh, no, that's impossible. Like, you're trying to do what? Oh, no, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to do that at all. So it's the status quo. And for me, I actually have a Dr. Donna quote that says the status quo is the status no. As soon as I start hearing about that, I'm like, I can't hear you no more. I'm out. I start itching, breaking out in hives. I will do my little coughing thing and get the hell out of there because I'm not listening to that. But most people do. And then the next one is our favorite winner, chicken dinner, negativity bias. Focusing on the risk or the failures can overshadow potential for success, making it impossible seem more likely. So that negativity bias is sitting right there with the doggone impossibility police. They have their battle buddies sitting in the vehicle coming to make sure that you don't ever believe that can makes the impossible possible. Yeah, so did you tell them impossibility police? Okay, yeah, that didn't work. All right, well, we got to use 7 levels of impossibility, and let's go ahead and make sure. Hey, remember the last time you tried, you lost all your money. Last time you tried, you made a fool of yourself and you embarrassed yourself last time. So that amygdala just shows up and say, warning, warning. Remember, go ahead and get you right on back here. The McBattle buddies. Yes. Okay. All right. So that's number 2, cognitivity bias. And so you got the status quo bias and the negativity bias. Number 3 is your personal limitations. You know, you yourself personally, you right here. Look at bend the wrist right here. Everybody bend the wrist. Sometimes someone's own skills, resources, or experiences might make a goal feel out of reach. I can't do that because I'm just working it out. I'm going to get this neuroscience certificate. We just got to adjust some things. And I promise you, I'm going to be in that 32-week program. Yes, I am, because I'm not going to listen to these neuroscientists that don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm going to go get the information myself. Open it. And as James Brown used to say, open the door. I let myself in. So that's what I'm going to do. But your personal limitations for your skills, your resources, or your experiences might make a goal feel out of reach. So all those times when you had growth opportunities and you ignored them, and you said, no, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that. And now you really want to know how to do this thing, or you really want this goal. And look back 10 years at all the things that you needed to do in order to be able to do that. And it is going to be impossible. Or you're just going to be doing 50,000 things, all that 11,000 things all at the same time to try to make that happen. Number 4 is social influence. If your peers, the experts, or the people in society label something as impossible, individuals may internalize that view. Peers, experts, and people in society label something as impossible, individuals may internalize that view. When I was chartering the Toastmasters Club, lunchtime talkers at the Urban Chamber, they told me you can't make individual people do educational goals because Toastmasters is a volunteer organization and you can't force them to do anything. And I said, I'm not going to force them to do nothing. And that's when I developed the Y card. As soon as people joined the club and their welcome packet was a 3x5 card, and on day 1, as soon as they paid their money, I said, hey, what a VP of Education said, okay, put your why down. Why are you here? And what educational goal do you plan to accomplish before the end of the education year? And they put that down. And every quarter, I passed those cards back out to them. And they looked at their why and they looked at their education goal and they had already signed off on it. So, hey, not a problem. Always had above 20 members, always met educational goals, never, ever had a problem. But they told me, seasoned people in Toastmasters, and Nola was there. We were having our annual leadership meeting. I forgot what it's called. But we go to kick off the new year, and they were saying, oh, it's so hard for memberships. It's so hard for this. It's so hard for that. And in that moment, I said, it's not hard. Let me tell you what I did. And afterwards, people came up to me. So what's on the white card? And how did you do it? And you give it in the welcome pack and all this. Because for years, they had just said you can't. And so everybody just said you can't. It's volunteer. No, it's not. And I made it a leadership and a business professional club. So then when people was like, oh, okay, so I can attach this to my doggone business goal. I can attach this to my leadership goal. I can attach this to my professional goal. And it worked. Every Thursday, we met for an hour, and people ended up doing amazing things. So don't let the social influence stop you from making it happen. Number 5 is fear of failure. Winner, winner, chicken dinner again. Fear of failure. Fear of failure. You're going to fail until you don't. So, hey, I just ripped the Band-Aid off for you. Believing something is impossible can be a defense mechanism to avoid the discomfort of trying and failing. Believing something is impossible can be a defense mechanism to avoid the discomfort of trying and failing. So I would use Toastmasters. If you try to have people do educational goals and they don't, then you go, oh, I failed. But if you say, well, you just can't. Every time somebody say can't, it's because at some point they tried, the shit didn't work and they gave up. So now they just turned it into a can't. No, you can't do that. You can't get a DTM in 18 months. You can't. Nobody's ever done it. That don't mean it ain't happened. Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Before that, nobody could do it. And he did it, and 18 people after him within 2 months did it. I read the book on it. Literally. Nobody, it was him and somebody else was trying to go get it done. He got it done first. And then after that, boom, boom, boom. Ulit did a less than 2 hour marathon. But before that, it couldn't be done. Everybody's like, it can't be done. His heart's going to explode. How's it going to happen? But somebody got to be the first person to get it done. Okay, so believing that something is impossible can be a defense mechanism to avoid the discomfort of trying and failing. If you just say it can't be done, now there is no discussion. You better hope I'm not in the room. And then it's easier to dismiss a goal than to risk disappointment. So it's easier to just say it can't be done than to try to get it done and fail. So what if you fail? So what? I got failures in my book. Who cares? Because people remember when you succeeded. Everybody talks about Michael Jordan 6 times winning the championship. He beat the Pistons. Anyway, but they don't talk about he played for 15 years. So 9 of those years he wasn't winning championships. But don't nobody talk about that. They talk about the 6 rings. That's what they talk about. Bill Russell, rest in peace, 11 championships. That's what they talk about. The man died basically on the basketball court. People talk about John Wooden as the winningest coach in college for basketball, but he had 10 years where they wasn't winning shit. And then win 12 out of 14. So everybody just remembers the wins. Nobody remembers the failures. If you've ever experienced Dyson anything, they had 5,000 cycling systems that didn't work before the vacuum started coming out and actually working. Now they have hair dryers and all kinds of things. So I need to read about Bannister this morning. Yes, Roger Bannister, Dr. Roger Bannister. He broke the 4-minute mile. Okay, so that fear of failure is some bullshit too. Okay, number 6, misunderstanding the problem. Sometimes people overestimate the barriers and misunderstand what's required or misunderstand what's required. Sometimes people overestimate the barriers or misunderstand what's required. And so because it feels like it's going to be this huge thing that you will have to do, you don't believe that it's possible, but you don't understand how to get there. When Nola first started out on TaskRabbit, she's charging $15 an hour. And she was messing shit up and everything else. And I looked at her in her face and I said, by the end of this year, you're going to be making $50 an hour. And she looked at me. And if I had been a drinking person, she probably would have thought I was drunk. But that weed is legal. She probably would have thought I would have done a little poo-poo before I talked to her. And lo and behold, by the end of that year, she was making $50 an hour. Because I knew. I looked, ran the numbers and said, this is how we get this done. This is how we do it. So that's not an issue for me as well. Now, the good news is that on the flip side, history shows that impossible is often a temporary label. It's temporary. Breakthroughs happen when someone challenges assumptions, gathers new information, or persists despite doubt. Breakthroughs happen when someone challenges assumptions, gathers new information, or persists despite doubt. So let me go over the 6 again. Why do people believe something is impossible? Number 1, lack of evidence or precedent. Number 2, cognitive biases, status quo bias, and negativity bias. I think I'm about to sneeze. Number 3, personal limitations. Number 4, social influence. Number 5, fear of failure. And number 6, misunderstanding the problem. So what questions do you have about the 6 reasons why people believe that something is impossible? And before you say no questions, have a question. Have a question. Challenge yourself this morning, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Challenge yourself and ask a question. Let's do a serotonin dopamine exchange. You know how to do book exchanges and things like that. Hot flash. I could say, with the flash, with the flashy, with the hot flashy. That's what the hell, if y'all haven't. So some of y'all don't have TikTok. If y'all thinking, let me know. Because, again, I could have to redo the chat. Go back out and come back in again. Can somebody type ... just so I know if I need to go? There we go. Thank you, my amazing offspring. Y'all, my amazing offspring tried to kill us yesterday. Just so y'all know, we're here by the grace of God. She tried to take us out with that appointment. Okay. Why do people not understand that failure is part of the process in order to achieve a goal? Great question, Regina. See, I did it again. Great question. Because thought leaders and experts and celebrities and publicists and everything want it to seem like it's overnight. Because if they actually displayed how long it actually took, people wouldn't do it because it's boring. That's why I am showing people behind the scenes of my life so people can understand that, first of all, because we have influencers as clients, nobody lives like they say they do on the internet. They don't. So showing you what day in and day out looks like, because it takes time. And immediate gratification is, if you ever watch biographies and everything, they'll show the struggle a little bit, but it's still like some nice dopamine. It's kind of sexy, like, woo, this is adventurous. Look at them. They ain't had food for 3 days, but they sing along. And then the rest of it is about all of the success and a little drop off and then a happy ending. And so because that's a sexier story, the failure isn't the part. And even if you watch the Steve Jobs movie, any of them, it's like, dang, he failed, but woo, look at him, he a billionaire, look at that yacht and Serpentino and the headquarters and all that. So they sell it, but they don't talk about what it feels like, the day in and day out of it, because that's not a sexy story. Okay, Kevin said, is there a certain time period where people's beliefs that the impossible becomes, I think you meant possible. There is not. I think because you're saying, is there a time when people's beliefs switch? No. The unaccountable people believe that it's impossible because they can't see it, they can't touch it, they felt it, the social influences says it. So no, they don't. And now what will happen, and I will use Nola going to homeschool, for example. When I was still talking to my mother and her husband, we almost got into a physical altercation when I said I'm taking her out of her high school and homeschooling her, because the only frame of reference they had was his brother and their sister-in-law homeschooled their kids back in the 90s, and we don't know if they ever finished and got their high school diploma. So that was the only frame of reference. Again, working memory was atrophied. Homeschool! What the hell is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Homeschool! Mind you, I'm the only person in the house with 3 degrees, and my doctorate is in education. But that didn't matter. I'm credible as hell. I got the most degrees, and it was still this thing. And I didn't listen to them. And then Nola was doing great in homeschool. COVID hits. She's coming around third. Everybody's talking about, oh my goodness, what are we going to do remote? Well, Dr. Donna and Nola, they been in homeschool. They know what they doing. They already know. And then y'all can't use the computer because they can use the computer. So then it was jump on the bandwagon after proof and everything that was taking place. But still believing that the impossible is impossible until they actually can see it, touch it, put their hands on it. Then they think it's a great, wonderful idea. Nola said, I used to have the mindset that can't. Now I say how, because I know you can't create a strategy for everything that you want to do. What gives certain people blind confidence to do anything without the skills? If you see it, and we were having this conversation with your client yesterday, if people see it on the internet and it's being done by somebody that they revere or respect, then they will believe that they can do it without the skills. And the reason why they believe that is because they resonate with the person without the skills, and that person is doing it. But that person got a bunch of people behind the scenes actually doing the work. How do I know? Because I did this with my sister, and now it looks like that person can do it. So you identify with that person because you're like, we're sisters and brothers from a different mister and a different mother. Look at that. If they did it, and I can do it. And they tell you, I did it and it only took me 6 minutes to get it done. So then you think, oh, I can do it in 6 minutes. The 4-hour work week, make $1 million in 2 days, and all these other things, because they sell it, got that dopamine going. And now you think you can do it too when you don't have the ability to do it at all. So then you quit, you kind of put it off to the side. We see it in organizations. People have, we did that program and that program and that program, and it didn't work. And now we're on to the next one. And then you spend 20 years skipping the line, leaving the skills behind when you could have just got the skills. And as Nola hates to see crime shows with how much effort people take to go commit a crime, she's like, all that, y'all could just build a business and did it the right way. So that's what's taking place. Please let me know if I have answered your questions. So the point is, we in this day and age when AI can do everything for you in theory, it can't. And you can just get to it quick. I want to be an influencer. I want to be this. I want to do that. I want to do that. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Immediate gratification. Okay, that didn't work. So let me go settle into something that does. And then just say that, well, that can't work. I tried it and it can't work. I tried it and it can't work. It actually can. It actually can. I'm a walking can. I am. If you, for sitting in elementary school, not being able to read and all these other things, thinking that I wasn't going to recover financially from that divorce and all that other stuff, I'm like, man, please. Did I wake up this morning and my vertical? It's on and popping. It is on and popping. I know a lot about a lot. Definitely from that process. And Regina is thinking. So it's interesting to be around people. And I'm allergic to can't. So when people start talking about can't and then I give them a solution, I'm not speaking to your fear anymore. You need to speak to your own damn fear. I'm not helping you knock down a fear wall, a skill wall, or any of that. I'm going to say, there's the wall. Here are resources and the tools. Knock it down. Good luck. Adios. It's not my responsibility. It's not my wall. My wall is to knock down this neuroscience wall. That's the wall that I'm currently knocking down. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to help you walk down your public speaking wall. I'm going to tell you I'm a distinguished Toastmaster and you need to go to Toastmasters.org. Knock down that wall yourself. You scared to post on social media? Start posting on social media today. I have 2 different systems. I can send you 2 different videos on my posting on social media systems. And I've been doing it faithfully for a long ass time, for thousands and thousands of days. That's what I can do for you. But I'm not about to be, and Nola has learned this too. You can't do the can for somebody else. Because if you do their can't, you're going to get the lesson and they're not going to get the lesson. So people have to do their own can'ts. General comment. Social media has had a major impact on how people think. Not sure if it's all positive. It just switched from the news to social media, Regina. And that's all it did. People were taught what to think on the boob tube. And as Ms. Price used to call it, the idiot box. So everybody sat around. I mean, we watched the biography of Lucy and Desi and how she was pregnant smoking cigarettes. When drinking, Mad Men, they pregnant, drinking, smoking, and everything else. So it's amazing we didn't have the amount of birth defects we should have had being part of all of that. So they would come in, remember the commercials, and they would come in with the soap and the Folgers and all of the appliances and everything. So it was programming and people were still listening to it. And celebrities, if Lucy said smoke Pound Mounds, then everybody, or Marlboro Man was a cowboy. All of that was happening. Remember, we used to have cigarette commercials. We used to have Coke 45 commercials. Billy D. Williams was in it. So it's still happening. It's just that we now have phones. And so it feels like it's more than it actually is. Yes. So whatever we watched on the television, you had to have it. You know what I'm saying? Who we wear short shorts. If you dare wear short shorts now with your short shorts. So that's just, hey, pop, 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 pop. You know, we had girdle commercials and we had bra commercials and all of that. I forgot the famous bra, but it was Crush Your Heart. So then it crossed in the back to pull them puppies up, hike them up higher and all of that. So same thing. And you know, Brooke Shields, I don't go anywhere without my Calvins. All of that. Where's the beef? And all of that. So it was there. You know what? Big Mac fillet of fish, quarter pounder French fries, icy Coke, thick shake, sundaes, and apple pies. Apple pies. You deserve a break today at McDonald's. So yeah, that was that. And you had your local commercials too. It's the same amount. Okay. Thank you for all of that. Now we're going to go into how Can makes the impossible possible. So making the impossible possible often involves shifting perspectives. It's number 1. You're going to shift perspectives. So you're going to leverage creativity and apply persistent effort. That's what you have to do. So shift your perspective, number 1. You got to go from can't to can. Can makes the impossible possible. You got to shift, can't, got to get out the way. You got to drop that apostrophe and that T, get that contraction off of there, and go ahead and just get to the root word, which is can. And then you have to leverage creativity and applying persistent effort. It's going to take effort. So to go back to why, Nola, you said, why do people think they could do it? Because they think it don't take no effort. They feel like it's effortless. And now that Travis Hunter is playing both sides of the ball, you have a bunch of people thinking they can play both sides of the field. And they're going to find out he make it look effortless, but it's effortless like a mofo. So it looks effortless. And now you're going to really find out, nope, he's been working on this for a long time. All right. So number one, and how can makes the impossible possible. Number one, you got to reframe the problem. So you break the impossible into smaller solvable parts. I will use Jiffy. Problem number one, you're not in the API. So nobody, you got to do more than just make a Jiffy account. You got to get in the API because that is where it pops up on the social media platforms. So how do I get in the API? Now, get an API, and now I got to start getting traction because, as I mentioned, I looked at the NFL Jiffy page, President Barack Obama's, and Gary Vaynerchuk's page. Because back then, people didn't have personal pages, and now most of the Jiffies were horizontal. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Okay, I can make a vertical. I'm already posting. This is going to be a cakewalk. No, it wasn't. So I researched and figured out, and Noah told me too, you got to be in the API. So I'm like, how do I get in the API? So I sent them an email and said, this is what's happening. I just basically told them, put me in the API because I'm not like, oh, what can I do? I made it a directive and then they put me in the API an hour later. And from there, it's like, okay, now I got to start posting. So we had to find out how to make stickers. That wasn't readily available. Had to watch a bunch of damn videos, get Adobe and all of that. So it was a bunch of effort in order to just have videos and have stickers because at that time it had to have a little motion on it. And then after that, I forgot what it stands for. Nola, if you could look it up for me, but it basically the API is if you go and type up on your phone, it has GIF. If you type Dr. Donna, I'm gonna pop up. So it's the program that interconnects with all of the other social media apps, and that's what makes it. So when people do memes and jiffies, it's all part of the API. I don't know the actual acronym for it. And if Nola, yeah, but it's the conduit that allows it to get onto all the social media platforms. So it's the speaking, it talks to it and says, these are the things that you can put in those apps. So now it's in your phone. Anytime you type a GIF in your phone on a gaming system or a social media app, you type Dr. Donna, do 4 a.m. club, turn around risk, turn around challenge, poll questions. My things will pop up because I have 4,500 different jiffies. So I did arrows, stickers, some of the stuff you wouldn't even know it was mine because we did we did Rest in Peace, Cinco de Mayo, Detroit Tigers, Final Four, whole bunch of stuff is actually in there. So anyway, you break the problem down and you say, okay, how can we make this possible? Number 2 is challenge assumptions. So this is how you have to challenge assumptions. You identify and question the limits of you or others that y'all take for granted. So what is it? You can't hold people accountable to get educational goals in Toastmasters. Why not? Why can't you do that? And then you will have many breakthroughs that happen because people reject it can't be done. So they told me it can't be done. And I said, why can't it be done? Well, because you just can't, because it's a volunteer organization. But they're paying their money and they're coming to do this. And we have these manuals and everything. So that doesn't make sense to me. Well, that's just how it is. You can't. Okay, cool. Got it. So now I'm rejecting it can't be done. You don't have a large following, Dr. Donna. You don't have a blue check mark. How dare you go and get a former president and a media marketing person and say, and at that time, Gary Vaynerchuk had 400 million views. And so I said, okay, 400 million views is possible. Roger that. I wonder, can 1 billion be possible? Let's find out. Doubled it, basically. I know that's some crazy math because doubled it is 800, but 2.5. All right. And then you ask, why is it impossible? What if the constraints were different? So now you're saying, but what if it is possible? What if it is possible? Steve Jobs helped with the smartphone, the touchscreen, and everything else, and everybody at Apple was like, no, this can't be done. This is impossible. What is going on? We're not going to be able to do this. People were just stressed the hell out. And now here I am. We're all in different locations on smartphones, using the internet, using YouTube as a social media platform to connect with each other in real time. So we're living in real world just in time frame. So challenge the assumptions. Number 3, learn and adapt. Learn and adapt. Study what others have done in similar situations. And then acquire new skills, tools, or knowledge to bridge gaps. So when you learn and adapt, you're going to study what others have done in similar situations, and you're going to acquire new skills, tools, or knowledge to bridge gaps. So API is application programming interface. That's what it means. So that's what I said, is talking to each other. It's the programming. So I had the definition. I just didn't know what the acronym meant. So learn and adapt. And that's what I'm always doing. All day long, I'm taking in information and I'm seeing how it's going to apply. And I will ask questions, put that in my nice little amazing hippocampus long-term memory. And then later on, I will use it if I need to. And note says it allows two different apps to work together and can be integrated. Right. And that's what I said, the conduit. So it's going back and forth and allowing them to communicate with each other. So I was close because tech ain't my thing. Not that level of tech. Okay. So acquiring new skills, tools, or knowledge to bridge gaps. That's why people think they can go ahead and do these things, but they don't have the skill sets. And when Nola first started assembling, she thought she had better skills and more skills than she did, and most independent contractors do, because they're like, well, she told me they can't even put it together, so I can put it together, so you need to be quiet, basically. Like, okay, you can't put it together either, right? And I'm like, but you really, I mean, it's together, but okay. And now she is leaps and bounds away from where she was 4 years ago. Number 4, use technology and tools. That's what we're all doing right now. We're all on a piece of technology. So innovation often turns impossible into realities. If we go back to when I published my book in 2009, none of what we are currently doing now would be possible. We would need, and my mother did video teleconferencing in her jobs, but we would need a whole infrastructure. You would need it. We would need to be hardwired in with Ethernet cords, and everybody would have to be there at the same time. And it might be doing like this and glitching and all of pixelated and everything else. But because of timing, because of waiting, now we have the ability to do this. Because to be perfectly honest, one thing I hated about not being virtual, because they knew Dr. Donna don't do paper, she don't have business cards, it got to be virtual. She is not coming to sit and do anything because of the time commitment. And I'm saying, I got to get dressed. I got to drive to where you are. Y'all all got to come there. We all got to be dressed. We got to set up a room. And now we got to sit there and we got to listen. And then we got to leave. We got to get back in our cars. There's so much traffic here now. I would definitely not be doing it now. And now none of us have to do that. You could be in your pajamas. You could be chilling. I'm the only one that got to have on clothes and hair. Everybody else, y'all could be sitting there with doggone bonnet on, scratching your head, hair and curlers or whatever, or robes and pajamas. It doesn't matter. Because I don't see you all, and it makes it pleasurable and simple for you to be able to do. Sometimes you're driving. Imagine you wouldn't be able to be driving back in the day and still listen to me. It wouldn't be possible. And even if we were on a teleconference, you was going to be having to pay for the minutes because it would have been during the day. So technology and tools helps you to make things possible that were not possible before. Number 5, collaborate. No one achieves impossible alone. So seek out others with diverse skills, resources, knowledge, and information. Collaborate. No one achieves impossible alone. Seek out others with diverse skills, resources, knowledge, and information. I will learn from anybody. I'm going to go ask a question. I'm going to look. And that's why I went to those pages when I first started on my Jiffy and Toastmasters. I'm looking at the manual. I'm reading. I'm researching. I'm going to ask different other club members and things like that, because when I got a goal in my head, I'm going to accomplish it. When Nola was little, anybody that had a child that was doing somewhat great things, I'm talking to the parent. So what time y'all go to bed? Y'all watch TV? Y'all don't watch TV? Okay. And then what school are you going? What books are you reading at night? And just to ensure that Project Nola turned out like Project Nola needed to be by the time she gets, because it's still a work in progress because she doesn't have her frontal lobe yet completely. So we have 2.5 years to see how this project is going to come to a completion. And number 6, persist through failure. Most impossible goals require iteration. You're going to be doing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. The other day on Threads, someone had a post and the person said, how do you post on 2 platforms every day? Ugh, so frustrating. And I explained my process to them. I didn't hear back. It's interesting when I give people the answer, they don't want to hear it. And then someone else said, why does it take so long to go viral on Instagram? So I told them my story about me being on there since December 2015. And it was last June, which is 2024. So almost 9 years later before I had a post go viral. And then more posts went viral. So it's a long time to be waiting to go viral. Now, part of it is I'm unwilling to do stupid shit. So I could have went viral doing the trendy shit, but that didn't match. Because what I found is when you do the trendy thing, and trying to transition to your actual thing, the drop off is so real that people just keep going back to doing the trendy thing because they don't want this other thing to not be. So they prefer to be an influencer instead of influencing for real, for real. So most of my viral posts are short videos. The ones on Instagram are business one-on-ones. And one would think, well, why don't you just keep making business one-on-ones videos? Because that's just one playlist out of 100 and something playlists. So I'm not going to do that. Now there are other videos that are high, a couple 100,000 here or there, but those are the ones that sit up higher. Now the viral videos on TikTok are not business one-on-ones. They're different than the ones on Instagram, which shows you that there is a different group over there. But I'm persisting through failure because I understand at this point it's neurological. And every time I have a conversation with people about the brain, they kind of glaze over, look at me, and physical people in front of me, like, what is she talking about? And I'm just planting a neural pathway seed. Here we go. I'm just dropping that in there because the next time you might hear something about the brain, you're going to be like, oh, where did I learn that at? Oh, Dr. Johnny was telling me about the brain. Okay, got it. I know this is a long process because it's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of people having negativity bias. So I know what I'm up against. And if I don't persist, I'm at day 552 live, then I stop and I got to start all over again. Or I got to try to get momentum going back again. So I understand that this process is going to take time. My family lived to be in their 80s and 90s. So hey, I got about 30, 40 more years to be here. It's all good. What else am I going to do? I did everything else that I wanted to do. So this is it. So I'm going to persist through failure. That challenge, yes and no challenge, was a bust. So don't do that anymore. Made some adjustments to some other things. And I continue. I have the right to get better and better every single day. But it's through failure, not through success. And there's one more. Number 7. Thinking long term. Some impossibilities take time. And that's what I said. If we look at my lineage, I got 30 to 40 more years to be here. That's plenty of time to get critical mass for people learning to hold themselves personally accountable. And then plant seeds now for future breakthroughs. That's what I said. I'm just talking about the brain. So when that person sees me somewhere 5 years from now, they're like, oh, I remember when she was telling me about that. Neuropability. Okay, I got it. So numbers 1 through 7 again are this. Number 1, and this is how CAN makes the impossible possible. Reframe the problem. Number 2, challenge the assumptions. Number 3, learn and adapt. Number 4, use technology and tools. Number 5, collaborate. Number 6, persist through failure. And number 7, think long term. And I will end with this part, and then you can tell me if you missed something, let me know, and I will review it. I say turn your can't into a can and your how into a now. So what questions do you have about how CAN makes the impossible possible? And the answer is you cannot say no questions. And now my coffee is cold. Got up at 2:20 today. I'm sleepy. And remember, ... so I know that you are thinking. So ... what questions do you have about CAN makes the impossible possible? The dot, 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 did I not? You can also type thinking. You can have an emoji, thinking. Regina, what do you do when persistent becomes difficult and challenging? Persist. You can also have a why card while you're doing it and remind yourself of that. Because what happens is when it gets real challenging to the level that you're speaking about, Regina, the breakthrough is coming. As you know, with childbirth, they call that the all hell breaks loose phase. And then it's all that pressure, 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 pressure. You push 2 more times, and bada boom, bada bing, baby's here. So it's a breakthrough. And it's designed for you to have to get an extra level of strength to break through it in order for you to accomplish it. And that's why most people give up. And I say you're either going to break down, or you're going to break the wall down, or you're going to break down, and then you're going to decorate it, because you don't know if you can do it. And that's why I say, and I know we have atheists, agnostics, I'm not saying that you need to have a higher power. I'm just saying when you have a higher power, you are calling on a higher strength in order for you to get through to the other side. That persistence. I mean, if you think about it, I started on Instagram on December 16, 2015. And my first viral post was June 3rd of 2024. So that's almost 9 years of daily. And I'm posting daily. Right now I have 15,600 Instagram posts. And I have 14,300 Instagram followers. So I still have more posts than followers on Instagram. And it is a daily. And what happens is once you have that breakthrough, then you get a reward of more growth opportunities. But think about how much information I have, the commitment, how many more graphics I believe I showed y'all my power post versus my other videos that and everything that I do. So it's that incremental change that happens on the daily basis that's invisible until you look back, and then it becomes very visible. So if you are not persisting, it's a skill set, fear, past failures, all of that comes up on purpose so that you can break through all of that, and it's not an issue for you anymore. All 7 breakdowns to be in strictly mental. You have to be wired for success. There's no way around it. Exactly. Thank you for that, Kevin, because it is happening up here. And experts and thought leaders and everything else will have you believe you can journal, and you can you can go to a conference, and you can somehow somebody could just pour it inside. And it's everybody has their own defects of character, their own generational curses, their own fears, their own lack of skill sets. And when you persist, you get the skills, you get everything that you need in order for this thing to take place. And if you don't do that, as I'm telling Nola that her next breakthrough, she has to communicate and talk about her feelings, because her next blessing is on the other side of these 2 walls that need to be completely broken down. So they're getting dismantled, but they need to already be broken down completely. And for me, going back to school for neuroscience it's the brain. And I know I had my 8th grade project. Nola reminds me, I used to say I was going to go back and get a PhD in neuroscience. It's where do I have the time? How am I going to do this with everything else? I said that when all I had was a book challenge. I wasn't going live every day. You wasn't in business. I had plenty of time 5-6 years ago to do this. Where is the time going to come from? But it will happen. I just have to remind myself of when I was busy as this before, and I will have to go back to my corporate times. But it is time for me to go and have this information correctly, because I can't say something and I, at a minimum, don't have a certificate in neuroscience. I haven't actually studied it at a university. So there's a credential that I need so people can shut up and say, yeah, that you talking about, you just watched a bunch of chat GPTs and no, not at all. Here we go. Just like I can say I'm a distinguished Toastmaster in a discussion. It's just some more paperwork that I need to keep doing what I'm doing. All right, Nola, did you have one? And then what did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? And Regina, let me know if I answered your question. That was a lot. So Regina's letting me know if I answered her question. And then it's, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And we will get on out of here. Thank you for letting me know. I got kicked out, I'm back. Okay, so go ahead and type your thoughts on can makes the impossible possible, and then what did you learn? And what did you learn about yourself? And I will go ahead and review the poll while y'all are doing that. All right. So 100% said can makes the impossible possible. Got it. There were 5 people that voted. And my arms and everything hurt from that doggone double coat rack. Nola, I think I kind of said it earlier that I used to have a can't mindset, and now I am thinking, how can I do it and make a strategy? Okay, cool, got it. Because when you have a strategy, you can do anything. You can do all things, the big and the small things. Everything is possible with a strategy. Because now you're just readjusting the strategy. Unless it was a dumbass plan, then you gotta, dismantle, get rid of that, kick that out, and then start with the actual strategy. Oh. I don't know I had that many. Okay. Nola said, I learned ego and confidence aren't the same thing, and all the confidence in the world doesn't beat a strategy. You said that. You might want to make that a simple bit, Nola. A quote. All the confidence in the world doesn't beat a strategy. And then Regina said, I've learned that challenging assumptions about my something is impossible is necessary step. Yes. You have to challenge the assumptions. And people don't like me challenging the assumptions because it makes them uncomfortable. They go straight to fear. And I see it all the time. As soon as I tell somebody something, that's why I know how to do so many things. So when people say, oh, no, I can't do that because, no, and then they always trying to, and then they, this invisible they. Noah says, learned about myself, my mindset shift. I used to be like, how can she do everything? You, meaning me. And now that I know research and strategies are the key, there isn't anything I don't think I can do. Right. And that's what people say. And if the other thing that people do is start saying, well, that's because you. Well, that's because you got 3 degrees. Well, that's because you was in the Army. Well, that's because you worked at Frito-Lay. Well, that's because you... And they never say, hey, tell me how you did it. What is happening up here for you that you are able to override all these things and get these things done no matter what? Because it is simpler to be dismissive of the effort. I think people don't understand the amount of neural pathways it takes to be me and get things done. So then it's easier to just say, you're wired that way without thinking, no, I wasn't. I came here born with negativity bias just like everybody else. And one talent and one skill, and everything else got built from there. And I think because I don't show it, I'm not like, oh, sweat equity. Look what I did today. This shit was so hard. Look at me. Then it appears to be effortless. But shouldn't it be? Should I be here? Like, hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me see. One more thing that ChatGTP told me. Give me 1 second. Let me write all this down. Give me 2 minutes. Y'all just talk amongst yourself. That's not how it needs to be for you to get it. Kevin, Dr. Donna, I sent you an email just now. You're going to go crack up. The timing is perfect as you discuss getting a degree. It's a certificate. It's not a degree. It's a certificate. It's a certification. So not going back to get another degree, but got it. I will check out that email and crack up. So what did you learn today, Kevin? and I will check it out. I can't. I'm on my phone is on the thing, so I can't see my emails right now, and I don't put it on my tablet because I'm not putting Microsoft on my tablet. Yeah, I don't have 4 to 6 years to be devoting to school too. And plus, I don't know that I could listen to the professors at this point. Last time I was in school, I wasn't even a distinguished Toastmaster yet, so I could get them 32 weeks. I can't get them. I'm like, hey, doctor. He'd be like, yes, Dr. Donna. Hey, doctor, sir, ma'am, this is them says you're. It'll be funny. They be to kick me out of school. Nah, she don't. She a problem. Be the first time to be a student evaluation on me, and I get kicked out of the class. If you know so much, teach it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Excuse me. Is this the button for the remote? No. The timing is perfect. Okay. And then Regina, thank you. All right. Just Mr. Hook, and then we can get on up out of here. So yeah, haven't quite decided as I come around third what we're going to do with this YouVersion Bible app. And I understand you got to stay in business, all of that, but not for faith-based things. Faith-based things need to be based in faith. And Regina said, I learned that life is about persisting and understanding why. It also helps too. And Kevin, today I learned that making things possible has a series of steps and avenues to take. That is correct. And that is, again, the other reason why I'm showing behind the scenes so that you can understand it. Because all you do is see from basically my mid-waist up. And I have legs. You've seen them a couple times when I got to go and get tissue and stuff like that. But what that actually looks like. Because we don't see that. We see, get ready with me. Or somebody, and I don't know why people don't understand why you can just, and they got the nerve to, and that's not gonna help either. So just other things, because it is in my daily. And then the other part too is that I don't want to show so much, and now you are like, I ain't never gonna be able to do that. I'm not saying do what I do. I'm saying what's possible when you wake up and you have a 17 to 18 hour day, 16 to 18 hour day. What's possible? Yes, have a few people who hold you accountable to collaborate with too. Yes, and they have to be personally accountable too, because sometimes people be like, I thought you said, didn't you say you was gone? Well, where is at? Why is it taking so long? That sentence right there lets me know that somebody has never created or worked on anything. I mean, really, like, you ain't finished yet. Something must be wrong with you, because my friend, you got to hear, I said, I'm my cousin. I had an aunt and an uncle. And then we start deep diving, and the aunt, the uncle, the friend wasn't doing nowhere near what I was doing at all. And then Kevin about himself, and we will bust a move. Yeah, so Nola had us at an appointment yesterday. We did 2 beds, 2 standing desks, 2 nightstands, fixed the bed, and did a double coat rack, barn sliding doors desk thing, like a double wide version of it. We never did a double wide one before. And then did that in 6 hours, I think it was, and then mounted a television. So my arms, my everything is just sore this morning. Kevin, I have to put forth more effort in my quest to make more things possible. Yes, sir. And then Regina said, yes, they have to be accountable. Otherwise, they discourage you. Yeah, they're going to be the impossible police and the negativity biases. They coming to make sure. Trap on both sides. Be like bookends. Okay. Well, I believe that it was a good live today, very effective. And now we know that can makes the impossible. Oh, I knew it was something else. See, did y'all hear everything we had to put together? This child trying to take me out, y'all. So it was 2 beds, 2 nightstands, 2 standing desks, a TV stand, and a double-sided coat rack with 2 benches, 2 barn doors, and 2 desks in 6 hours. And then we had just enough time to eat lunch and go mount the TV. She trying to take me out, y'all. Yeah, she trying to take me out. And we have 2 appointments today, 2 appointments Sunday, and 2 appointments Saturday, and 3 appointments on Sunday. And Saturday we got to do a waterfall of some sorts. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, story of my life. But I'll still be here for lives. God willing, higher power of the universe. Soar and all. 'Tis the season to be assembling and mounting. That's how it goes. All right, you all go off and have a amazing Friday. We actually have a light day today. We just have 1 cabinet and remove 1 cabinet over an inch. So I should be able to get some other things taking place. But thank yourself for taking time for yourself to understand. When you find yourself saying, I can't, turn that can't into a how and that how into a now and get busy doing what you need to do. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power and the universe, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a fantastic Friday. Take care.